My name is Brendan O'Malley,
My name is Justin Blanchett.
and our project is a video game called Sewn Together, and we're computer science cyber gaming majors. So for the plot of Sewn Together, it takes place in 1963, and one late night, a man breaks into husband and wife's house, and the wife goes to get a drink, and the intruder shoots her, killing her, and the husband hears the gunshot, follows into the room, and is shot by the burglar in the abdomen. After the burglar shoots the husband, he goes into the wife's room, takes the jewelry, and leaves the house. So the police are called onto the scene by the neighbors, and they arrive with ambulance and rush the man to the hospital. We have two mini games in our that go along with our main game, and one of the mini games is used to go over how to stop severe bleeding, and another one is stopping infectious cells. But we'll go into that later. And so after the man is taken into the surgery room to try to heal him from the bullet, the surgeons go through the surgery, and we'll go over that as well. And then they sew him up, but his vitals aren't really stable, so they have to put him in a medically induced coma using propofol. And so while he's in this coma, it's kind of like an Osmosis Jones / B-movie type thing. And so inside of his body, the cells have like a world all of their own. And so when the bullet wound enters the bullet enters like his cells, and so it affects another, like a female and a male cell almost as themselves for like symbolism. And so the bullet wound enters the body, killing like a lot of cells in the body, also killing like a female cell of a male cell. And once this happens, the body has to recover from what just occurred. And so the male cell and like the cytoplasm, the osteoclast, red blood cells, white blood cells, all different types of cells have to work together to heal the man. And so they take the main cell that we're working with, and he has to go through the different stages of mitosis, which are, it's like a 2D platform. And so once he goes through all the different stages of mitosis, he collects a protein or a piece of jewelry at the end. And once he goes through all the stages, he splits into a female cell, or like a daughter cell, and then at the end of that, they kind of battle off against a virus cell, making sure that the body's all clean, and then the man, then the outcome is pretty much up to you.
Our target audience for the game is 13 to 18-year-olds because they really don't know much about mitosis. It's a very broad topic when brought up and taught in school, so it's to bring it more towards them. It shows a lot into wound repair, trauma care, and a lot of mitosis because that's the main point of the game.
And another point is mitosis in the average human happens about 4 quadrillion times. And so it's a very important part, and it's essential for life. Like whenever you have a wound, or with growth itself, whenever you grow in size, that's mitosis occurring. And that's also whenever a wound happens, the cells were damaged, so you need to replace them. And one of our corporate sponsors or companies that we're interested in is Band-Aid, and with like Band-Aid brand with the commercials, it's kind of like a magic almost. Like the kid has the wound, you put the Neosporin on, you put the Band-Aid on, and then they just take it off, and they don't really understand what happened with that wound recovery. We want people to have a better understanding of it. Okay, so for the biological aspects of the game is we want to briefly, our main focus is mitosis, but we want to briefly go over various surgical procedures such as hip arthroscopy, trauma care such as basic first aid, mitosis and asexual reproduction, which is the main focus, and wound repair.
Some of the tools that we use to create what we have at the moment is Photoshop, Magic Music Maker to make background music for the game, Autodesk Sketchbook, and some of the companies that we're working towards getting a product to would be Pearson, the bookmakers. They also publish a lot of educational online games as well. Band-Aid, the #1 Band-Aid brand in the world, in the name, and American Medical Association, or the AMA.
Okay, and so we have two mini games, as I said, and so one of the first mini games, you can go over here because that happens.
Yeah, is Stop the Bleeding. You ever heard the little story about the Dutch boy that walked past the dam and it was leaking water and plugged his finger in it to stop it from leaking water? Then more holes sprang up and he had to plug more holes with his fingers. It's the same concept, but in a video game and with stopping bleeding
Instead of water.
instead of yeah.
And then the other one, I had like folders with like hundreds of reference images, but this one was based off the DS Mario game. And so essentially, the bullet entered here, and so now there's damage in the body. And so this is like the skin, and infectious cells are trying to come in, and without proper antibiotics, the area can become infected. And so what you're doing is you're using fibrin, which is used with blood clotting to stop perfusive bleeding. And so you're going to use strips of fibrin to stop infectious cells from entering. And it's just, the Minigames aren't really the main focus of the game, they're just ways to include the biological information. And so this is the main point of our game. So we have the different level stages, which will take place at the levels of mitosis. And they will begin with interphase as kind of like the depressive state. The husband's cell just had his wife killed, and so he's kind of gloomy, and the other cells are trying to get him to work on recovering the body. And so that's kind of like the basic mechanics where you're learning how to play the game. Prophase is like what you would see here, and so it's mainly an A to B game, and there will be obstacles such as saws, like surgical tools, and rocket launcher cannons shooting a T4 virus cells, and you're getting from point A to point B, and at point B you'll collect like a jewelry piece, like the jewelry that was taken from your wife. And once you collect all the jewelry pieces, you complete like a necklace and like a side menu. And then after you collect all the jewelry pieces or like the necessary proteins, you're able to split with cytokinesis. And from there, after you've split, there's the boss level stage, which you're essentially trying to climb up like a platformer, and you're trying to escape like the infectious area or like a dark zone. And so after you, if you're able to escape from the area like while the dark zone is catching up to you, then that would like affect your outcome. And then what we have completed so far is we know how we want to establish the mini games and the main game. We have background music, which you would be hearing if we knew how to work the speakers, and we have the storyline completed. There are a lot of details that I can't really give out in a short presentation. We have various skill drawings and scenes done. We have the biological information selected, 2 mini games. What we want to finalize is what the main characters will look like, such as the husband, the wife, the burglar, and the 2 main cells. Finalize level designs. We want to do a 3D printed model of the male and female using Maya. We want to have, as our end result, a trailer about 1 minute and 30 seconds, and we want to have the cover art for the game. And then yours.
Seems like everything's figured out. I don't have questions. You guys ask about the computer part, because it's like, he explained everything to me. Everything's okay. I guess we are so happy with your presentation. So I can expect that in the poster presentation.
There is a question.
Oh, there is a question.
Right
All right,
there.
there you go.
Put
Question.
your hand up.
Oh, I was just gonna say, please tell me it's gonna be like all that. I wanna play it.
Well,
That movie is so awesome.
like, and there are a lot of details that like we've come up with that we couldn't really like give off right now. Like I have like a notebook like half filled, and then like a folder with like 100 reference images. So like there's a lot of stuff that we can like, just disclose.
We hold the suspense, all right, for the poster presentation. Okay,
So,
yeah, and
do you guys want it to be a 2D platform
Yes.
because like it's your personal interest, you would like it to play that way, or because it'd be easier to program?
It's easier to program, and like one of our things that for reference was Super Meat Boy, because like there's kind of like the connection, and you want to, with video games, I personally, you want to feel something, and so I have like a lot of work into the storyboard behind it, and there's like a lot of details in that, and so I feel like with 2D platformers, they're good for like indie games, and that's what we want this to feel like. So
Yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up question. I was gonna ask like, will the level be set up in such a way like you had there, the preview level, where you'd see the whole level and you'd be able to play through it, or would the screen move as you go like Super Meat Boy?
we prefer to do the still shots, so not like really moving, so you can see it all.
Alright. When I saw this, I don't know why personally, like I understand if you have your idea, but I saw this more, since you're gonna collect pieces, I saw this more as a 3D platform than a 2D one. But you should follow your personal instincts.
Yeah, we don't have much practice with 3D, so
all right, let's go to Shark Tank, okay? Thanks, after this is done.